This week's Torah portion is called Naso, which roughly translates lift. We've seen this before in the Torah portion called Ki Tisa, which roughly translates when you will lift. In both situations, the Heavenly Father is telling Moshe to take a census. However, last week's Torah portion already took a detailed census. So what's the census in this week's Torah portion? This week's census focuses on the tribe of Levi, and specifically those who are from the age of 30 to the age of 50, all who are eligible for the military to perform service in the Mishkan. There are 3 divisions in the tribe of Levi, and each one is tasked with a service in the Mishkan in lieu of military service. Gershon is in charge of the tapestries and screens. Merari is in charge of the framework of the Mishkan, and Kahat is in charge of the holy objects. As with the Israeli soldiers in last week's Torah portion, Levi's census is by households and not by individuals. When the society functions according to Torah, it respects the sanctity of the household. Last week's Torah portion showed us a picture of how strong Israel's military can be when our children honor both of their parents. This week's Torah portion shows how holy the priesthood can be when our children upgrade the status of their parents from honoring them to revering them. The Torah portion shifts gears to the next topic. Chapter 5 verses 1 and 2 states, God spoke to Moshe saying, "Command the children of Israel to banish from the camp all who are afflicted with Tzara'at." Verse 4 concludes, the children of Israel did so. They sent them outside the camp. The children of Israel did as God had spoken to Moshe. We learned in the Torah portions called Tazria and Metzorah that Tzara'at is a physical manifestation of a spiritual affliction. We also learned that the most common reason for Tzara'at is Lashon Hara, the wicked tongue, which is gossip. Lashon Hara is most commonly spoken against family members, and we'll see an example of this in next week's Torah portion. The most egregious expression of Lashon Hara amongst family members is parental alienation. In other words, those who are first to be banished from the camp for Tzara'at are those who cause parental alienation. We see a sharp contrast between those who honor both of their parents and even revere them in this society and those who cause parental alienation. This Torah-based society builds history's strongest military with soldiers who honor both of their parents. This Torah-based society builds a priesthood with Levi'im who revere both of their parents. This Torah-based society has a zero-tolerance policy for anyone who speaks Lashon Hara against a child's parents. As I said before, we will see an example of this in next week's Torah portion. It's worth mentioning that this week's Torah portion introduces the concept of a Nazir, which is a Nazirite in English. Chapter 6, verses 2 and 3 states, "Speak to the children of Israel, and you shall say to them, a man or woman who will take a Nazir vow for the sake of God must abstain from alcoholic wine and aged wine, vinegar, nor shall he drink anything from grapes, and he shall neither eat fresh grapes nor dried ones." There is a lot of debate in the Jewish world about the Nazir. One opinion is that this vow opens the door for any Israeli to serve in the Mishkan like the tribe of Levi. This opinion emphasizes our calling to be Mamlechet Kohanim v'Goy Kadosh, a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. Interestingly, the next passage is the famous priestly blessing. The Torah portion ends on a high note. The people overflow with generosity and unity. Every household has received its orders and is in its place for its journey to the Promised Land. So long as we can maintain our unity with each other and with the Heavenly Father, nothing can stop us. Next week's Torah portion is called Baha'alotcha, and we will begin our journey towards the Promised Land. Can we maintain our unity long enough to reach the Holy Land?